video, I'm going to show you how you can use Microsoft Excel to carry out ordinary least squares regressions on datasets. Now, in order to help, I've uploaded a dataset to Blackboard, which is a sample of the California education data that we've seen in lectures and is also used in the Stock and Watson textbook. So what we have in this dataset is we've got the average test scores for districts in California, we've got the student-teacher ratio in those districts, and we've got the average income in those districts. And we've got 200 observations of this data. So in the lectures we've tried to see what the impact of a change in the student-teacher ratio is on average test scores. So if you wanted to calculate the OLS estimates, you could use Excel to do this manually. However, Excel has an add-in that will allow you to do this automatically. Now, when you open Excel, and once you've opened up the dataset, you can click on the Data tab, and if the add-in has already been installed, in the top right-hand corner there will be a button called Data Analysis, but this is not installed as a default. So in order to install this, you need to go to the File menu, scroll down to Options, and a new dialog box will open. If you click on Add-ins, then at the bottom you'll see Manage Excel Add-ins. If you click Go, brand new dialog box opens, Analysis Toolpack, Analysis Toolpack VBA. Select both of those, and in the top right hand corner when you click OK, a new button will appear. So we've now got this new button called Data Analysis, and this will allow us to carry out ordinary least squares regressions on our data. So let's click on that button, and we get a new dialog box with all sorts of options. And what we want to choose is we want to choose regression, because we want to carry out an ordinary least squares regression. So if we click OK, and then our new box opens up with input Y range, input X range, and a whole load of other options. Now the data that I provided has titles at the top. It's got labels to the data, so let's select labels to just indicate that there is some label in the data, and then we need to select our dependent variable. Our dependent variable is average test scores. That's what we're treating as our Y variable, our outcome variable. And in order to select the data, if you click on the top of the column and drag right down, selecting all of the data, and you'll see that you've now got $A, $1, colon, $A, $201. That's saying that it's taking all of the cells from A1 to A201 as our dependent observations. Now we want to know the impact of student-teacher ratio on test scores. So we need to select our explanatory variable, or our X variable, as the student-teacher ratio. And we do exactly the same thing as we did before. We click at the top, we drag down across all of our data. So now we've selected our dependent variable, which is the average test scores. We've selected our explanatory variable, which is the student-teacher ratio, and we click OK. And we get estimates of the relationship between the two looking like this. Now this is only a sample from the California education dataset, so we're getting slightly different coefficients to what we've seen in lectures. So what's important in here? Well, we've got estimates of the coefficients. This 658.66, it's by intercept. That's telling us it's our estimate of the intercept. This minus 1.0269 is the estimate of the marginal impact of a change in student-teacher ratio on test scores. But that's not the only statistic that's estimated here. You've also got the estimated standard errors for those coefficients. You can use those standard errors to carry out statistical testing. You've also been given a t-stat. Now that t-stat is the t-stat relating to testing the null hypothesis that the coefficient is equal to 0. So if we look at the t-stat on student-teacher ratio, we've got a t-stat of minus 2.43. That's a lot larger in magnitude than a rule of thumb of 2 or 1.96, because we've got a relatively large number of observations. So therefore you would reject the null hypothesis that the coefficient was equal to 0. You're also given a number of other coefficients. You're given the 95% confidence interval. You're given the p-value related to the t-stat. That p-value is the probability of getting to a t-stat as impressive as this one, so with a magnitude as big as 2.43, if the null hypothesis had been true. The other statistic that you're interested in, or might be interested in, is the r-squared, which is telling you the proportion of the variation in the outcome variable that your explanatory variable is explaining. Here we're explaining 2.9% of the variation in test scores. But this is just a univariate regression. We might be interested in a multivariate regression because we might be worried that there might be some omitted variables bias. And Excel can do this as well. However, in order to carry this out, you need all of your explanatory variables that you're including to be next to each other. So here we've got student-teacher ratio and average income. They need to be in columns that are next to each other in order for this to work. So we're going to select data analysis again, we're going to select regression again, and we're going to do almost exactly the same thing. We're going to select our Y range, which again is average test scores. Then we're going to select our explanatory variables. Now this time we want to include both student-teacher ratio and average income. So we're going to select both columns and drag down across both columns. So once we've selected all the data, now our explanatory variables are going from cell B1 down to cell C201. So we've got 200 observations of both the student-teacher ratio and the average income. Let's click OK, and now we get new results. The coefficient on student-teacher ratio has changed a little. There might be some evidence that average income was an omitted variable, which, having omitted it, caused some bias. It's not changed much though. We've got a new r-squared of 0.29. That's suggesting that 29% of the variation in test scores is being explained by the student-teacher ratio and the average income. We've got a whole load of other statistics which I'll leave you to explore on your own. You will need to use Excel in the next assignment, so please do have a play around with Excel, try and run some regressions using this data, and then in the next assignment you will be asked to carry out regressions and interpret your results. Thank you very much, and goodbye.